Hello and welcome to Affinity. We're going to now look at the calculations behind and the logic of the darker color blend mode. Darker color blend mode is the last one in the darken set, and it is calculated being a combination of red, green and blue, and this is how it's different to other blend modes. In other blend modes, the base red and the blend red are combined to form the result red and then separately with the green, so it's channel based. With this it's combination based, so red, green and blue in the base layer are combined and then compared against the red, green and blue in the blend layer, and the one with the lower value, which means darker, is the one that is shown, and that's done for every single pixel. The question then is, how do you combine the red, green and blue? Do you just take equal quantities of each? And the answer is no, because you use the luminosity calculation. And what this is done as is that you take 30% red, 59% of the green and 11% of blue, and they add up to 100%. So why do you take so much of the green? Well, it's to do with our eyes and our history. And the eyes have three different types of cones in them, which are the colour sensors. And they're called SML for short, medium and long wavelength. And basically the green, first of all, the green covers a wider range, and also you get coverage within the green from the short and long sensors as well. So you get a lot of green information going back to the brain, and it kind of makes sense if you think of evolution, because we grew up in jungles and whatever where most things were green, and it was probably a good idea to be able to distinguish different shades of green and stuff like that. Anyway, but that's the bottom line of it. Green's pretty important. And if you look at the way that camera sensors are made, they also have two green sensors and one red and one blue. So what we get then is, in perception, we perceive green as being brighter. So this is an order of brightness here. So yellow is brighter, then cyan, then green, and so on down to blue, which is the darkest. And these are the relative amounts. So why is green not at the top? It's because you can imagine that red, green and blue are three torches, and each torch is, each pixel and so on. But yellow, that's green and red. And green and red have to be more. You've got the green torch is there and you're adding the red, so that's got to be brighter than just the green by itself. Same's true of the cyan, because the cyan is the green torch and it's also the blue torch, so again brighter. But then it comes the green, because green is more than the magenta, which is two torches still, but red and blue, but even those two torches together can't combine to beat out the green. And then you got red and then the blue, which again is how that works within the eye. And so when we want to darken colours or turn colours to black and white in the way that the eye sees them, this is why we use that formula. And this is the formula that's used for darker colour. If you put HSL on a strip, you're going to see the colour's all going to go grey like this. So if you take a picture of flowers, for example, which are often saturated, they turn out all grey and you can't tell the difference. Better to do something like this, which is the conversion using the luminosity calculation. So let's go and have a look at that. Here it is here. So if I go to the HSL here, and if I turn the saturation down, it's all going to go to grey. So saturated colours go to grey because these are all saturated. What if I go to vibrance, where there is another saturation control, but this one is calculated using the luminosity, then these go to the black and white. And why is this important? Because this is the way it works here. So if I put in here a layer and a new fill layer, and I can start this off at white, and I put the blend mode now to darker colour. Now as I make this darker, then it is going to pick off, because it can take the darker colour now. So as I move this slider down here we go, see it picks off the yellow. The yellow is now grey, and that's because the grey is coming from the top layer, which is the fill layer. And I can turn that off there, and that's the colour grey. It's very light. If I take that and then slide that down more, there's the cyan. And if I turn the bottom layer off, you can see that's still, but it's still darker than the perceptual yellow and cyan. And so on down, that if we wind this up, pick it up, there we go, it gradually knocks out those colours there, which is kind of cute. But this is useful then in working with colours. You're putting another layer on top, particularly with something like grey or another colour, then you're going to get that either the top layer or the bottom layer based on that luminosity. Just show it one more time just for fun. This time we'll do, it's a complete colour circle here. So I'm going to put a new fill layer in and make that darker colour, and just watch what happens here as I make that top layer less and less. There you go. But that's the idea, and we're going to do more examples of using this in the next video. Thank you very much.